You brought Charlie Kirk to Israel.
First of all, I must say that Charlie Kirk is an amazing guy. He was a brother. I loved him. I appreciate him so much. And he was very, very concerned about Israel.
It's amazing, by the way, Matan, how much that trip influenced him, and especially the Hebron trip. In almost every video that he talks about Israel, he's like, and I've been down to Hebron, to the tomb of the patriarchs and matriarchs. Matan Peleg, you were the head of Im Tirtzu, Israel's largest student movement, and it's a nationalist student movement pushing back on Palestinianism. You were the head of that till October 7th, 2023, when you went back to the army. Before that, in 2018, you brought Charlie Kirk to Israel, and some of that video is precious. Tell me a little bit about Charlie Kirk in Israel. Tell me about that story.
Well, first of all, I must say that Charlie Kirk is an amazing guy. He was a brother. He was such a good friend, such a good man. I loved him. I appreciate him so much. Yes, so he came to Israel in 2018, and a friend, someone who knows both of us, asked me to go and take him to Hebron. Like this, it started. So then I Googled a little bit about him. I didn't know him before, although I understood that he's like some kind of influencer. He wasn't, back then, he wasn't a superstar like later, but he was familiar. I didn't know
Right.
him that well.
Right.
So then I took him to Hebron with Erica and a few more friends, I think. And so we drove in two cars. And all the way in Hebron, we just, we talked so much, and he was an amazing guy. And since then, we had a long connection. He invited me a few times to the United States, to the Turning Point USA conferences, which I talked there a few times. It was amazing people, amazing friends. And him and I, we stayed really in a close relationship, and I had like some amazing experiences with him, must tell you.
Okay, here he is talking about that a little bit, about the experiences, about you bringing him to Hebron. And by the way, I was the tour guide there in Hebron, so that's very special. Let's take a look at Charlie Kirk talking about that and talking about you as well.
Having visited Israel a couple times. Is Matan here somewhere? There he is. Best Israel tour ever. And he took me to Hebron and didn't really tell me what I was in store. And one of my favorite stories to tell about Matan, Im Tirtzu, right? That's the organization you run. It's terrific.
Im Tirtzu.
Is we were driving south from Jerusalem down to Hebron. And I remember there's these huge signs, and I couldn't read them. And I said, what does that sign say? And it has a big arrow. And he says, oh, yeah, it says that if you go that way, you'll die. It just all clicked. I said, everything I've been told by the Western press about Israel is a lie. Because there you have, as a Westerner, an American, you go there, they'll jump on your car, they'll cut your head off, they'll kill you. So then we continue down on the Hebron, and he points, he says, oh, you know what happened on that sidewalk, or that corner? I said, what? He said, oh, yeah, a guy was stabbed to death, a couple weeks ago. And it becomes very real what Jews have to experience in Israel every single day. And then actually going to the Hall of the Patriarchs and seeing it for yourself, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, and Leah. I mean, that's, all of a sudden you realize that the Bible is not a bunch of metaphors like far too many people. It's a story of history. And Israel is the preserver of the Word of God. And it makes the Bible come to life in a very special way. But guess what? You have an ally in the fight for Israel with me.
Amazing video. And it's amazing, by the way, Matan, how much that trip influenced him, and especially the Hebron trip. In almost every video that he talks about Israel, he's like, and I've been down to Hebron, to the tomb of the patriarchs and matriarchs. So that was a really, I guess that was a turning point, shall we say, for him. What else can you tell me about the man? What else can you tell me about we lost him. We lost him to a murderer out there who wants to shut up our voices. I guess we face similar stuff. What else? Anything else you could tell me about Charlie? That would be good.
Well, first of all, I must say this video is the short one. There is a longer version, but this one I uploaded because on Reels on Instagram, you have only 1 minute and a half. So I shrink it. It was even longer. Charlie is an amazing guy, was always. And one of the things that I had with him that after it, I'd say, oh, this is like a really amazing guy. Is one time I met him in a Trump Hotel in Washington, okay? By coincidence, okay? I didn't know he will be in the lobby of the hotel. I came to an event of Turning Point USA. He knows, we met, we talked, but we didn't plan to meet together in the Trump Hotel. And he was waiting in line to meet Donald Trump. And he's waiting, people are waiting. Americans are very good in, standing and waiting in line. Not like us. And then he see me and he left the line and he come like fast and he's hugging me. And I was with another, by the way, very famous public figure, but he chose like to hug me, and the other guy said like how he cares about Matan more than me. I wanted to, he's a very celebrity, and I said, wow, this guy is so honest, so open, so clear. He loves the guy, an Israeli guy. He comes and hug him, left the line. So it was. And it showed me what I felt always about him, that he's a really, really, really good guy. From within, good guy. Good guy. And in the 7th of October, by the way, we had a lot of chats. Now I think it's okay to say, he was very online on Telegram, not on WhatsApp. So we talked a lot on Telegram. And he was very, very concerned about Israel. He cared a lot, really much. And always when I sent him back short videos about him, and I told him, wow, this is a good movie, this is a good movie. He said, thank you, Matan, but please share it also with other Israelis. I want the Israelis to know that I love them and I'm with them. So it was an unbelievable loss. Unbelievable loss.
One of the things that you also organized when he was in Israel was not just a tour, but also a long speaking engagement, of which I've played parts of. Let's just watch the first minute or two just to get a sense of what Charlie Kirk in Jerusalem was like.
Thank you, Matan. First of all, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. I just want to first say thank you to the wonderful organization, Im Tirtzu. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. I'm going to do that all evening, so I apologize for my horrible American English accent. I was very pro-Israel before this trip, but I'm just on fire to continue to advocate for this moral and godly country, seriously. And I'll kind of walk you through the last 48 hours. It was a real eye-opening experience for me. We're going to Hebron yesterday, and I asked Matan, it's safe, right? Of course it's safe. Oh, great, it's okay. So I shouldn't wear this around the streets there. But the Western media has become so good at lying about this country. And again, I'm very, very pro-Israel. I'm an evangelical Christian. I'm a conservative. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a Republican. All the good things. For my whole life, I have defended Israel. But even with that, I was programmed by the Western media to have certain lies programmed into my head. So for example, we were on the hill yesterday in Hebron, and I asked, where are the tents? No, seriously. I said, where are all the refugee camps? I've been told my entire life that this city is a refugee city. And everyone laughs. There's malls, there's shopping centers, it's 97% Arab. And it was so eye-opening to actually see it firsthand, because I went in thinking it was going to be an actual refugee camp. And someone made a very good point, which is, how can you be refugees for 70 years? By definition, you're not a refugee after 2 generations. You're not fleeing anything. So anyway, that's besides the point.
Okay, so the video goes on. Really, it's 2 hours of an excellent speech. And one of the things that Charlie Kirk is talking about there is media bias, the lies that we've been told, lies that even nationalist, Republican, conservative, Trump-supporting people believe in. Recently, you've just written a book, your first one in English, all right? And it's called The Pro-Israel Handbook. And I went through it over Shabbat and also today. And it's got really a lot of key information written in a language that is accessible to all about the story of Jewish rights in the land of Israel, but even more about what Palestinianism is, what is its roots, and how does it work to undermine the narrative of Israel. So congratulations on the new book. I see it behind you, the Pro-Israel Handbook. Tell me a little bit of the process of why you've written this book and what it's really about and how it can help people.
Just, if I may, one thing about Charlie Kirk concerning the book. So I wrote the book at the beginning in Hebrew, and it was directly for the Israeli audience because I feel that the Israelis don't know enough about the small details, and the propaganda against Israel is from outside, but also from within, with a lot of money. So I said to myself, because people today don't have enough patience to read books, I said I will write something short with a lot of details that will be very focused and will give you enough ammunition to defend yourself and your kids and your friends and your family from this propaganda. And when I translated it later to English, because a lot of people started to say, wow, this can be very good also for non-Israelis or not Hebrew readers, I said, okay, so I will ask from Charlie to write the opening words of the book. And a friend of mine that knows also Charlie said, wow, send it to him. Send it to him now. Send it to him. His name is Mike Lexley, very good guy. And I told him, look, I want to send it to him only when it will be graphic design, because I know Charlie. Charlie is very busy. And so it will be hard for him to read something on a Word document. So I will give it to him when it will be graphic design or PDF. He will read it, and then he will write something. So I waited for a few weeks, okay? And then he died. And then I was like in shock, and I wanted even to dedicate the book to him. But because so much evil people, bad people, started to say that the Israelis, they're using his name and stuff like that, I didn't mention him on the book, because in my heart, I know this book, he was supposed to be involved in it. He was such a good guy, so I didn't care. But basically, originally, he was supposed to write the opening words for it. And I knew he would love the book and he would use it, like he used our tour in Hebron and Jerusalem later.
Absolutely. So, okay, tell me, it's a short book, so I guess you can give it to me in a short way. What is this book really about?
So this book gives you close to 1,000 facts in this short book. And basically, it's supposed to help you to understand three main things. The one is that the Palestinians, it's not a people, it's not an ancient nation, okay? This idea, I destroy it completely, okay? Those are immigrants that came from all over the Middle East for finding jobs, because the British people and the Jewish people created jobs here. But for example, the United States is also a lot of immigrants from all over the world. But the difference is that the Palestinians, they are Arabs who came here, they hated one each other, and they give all facts in the books. It's all points. They hated one each other. Arabs from Lebanon, they hate Arabs from Jordan or from Lebanon or from Egypt and Sudan. They don't marry with one each other. They have only one thing common: the hatred of the Jews. It is in the Quran. It's Muslims from all over, they can agree only on one thing: the Quran. And the Quran speaks a lot about Jews. So the only way to make those different kind of work immigrants one group that can to do something with it, it was the hatred of the Jews. This is what combined them together.
Okay, so that's where Palestinians came from. Next.
Yes. And this is important because a lot of this issue is important to start with, because a lot of people say those are the indigenous people and stuff like that. And the one who really created them is Hajj Amin al-Husseini, that it was the Mufti of Jerusalem and a Nazi, completely Nazi, that was set with Hitler and stuff. And I give this information in the book. Then I started to speak about also the idea of the two-state solution, all the solutions, I'm going with the name of the chapter, the second chapter, the big one, is there is ideology, Palestinian ideology, and it's Nazi. Okay, I didn't give all this idea, but then later on, I started to speak about the sources of the conflict. So, and I'm showing all over the history that the Jewish people were always willing to compromise because the Jews always want a Jewish state. And the Arabs, they only wanted one thing, that the Jewish state will not exist. It's not an argument between Jewish people who want a Jewish state, Arabs who wants an Arab state, and okay, you can divide it and that's it. It's totally different argument. Jews want a Jewish state, Arabs want Jewish state not to exist. But I give a lot of points from the Peel Commission in 1936, okay? And that was the first time that the British people came and say, okay, this is like the a compromise, a two-state solution, a partition plan. And the Arabs say no, the Israelis say yes, the Jewish people say yes, although it was a very bad for us. And then in 1947, and then later on in Oslo Accords, and then and on, because people say the Israelis, they are the refusers, not the Arabs, but I'm showing by history, it's not even mine, I'm showing it time and again. After Oslo, Ehud Barak, as a prime minister, said that he was willing to give all Judea and Samaria, he was willing to split Jerusalem for two, to give it to Arafat, to the Palestinian Authority, and like this making peace. People say after Yitzhak Rabin was assassinating, the peace stopped. It's completely lie.
The sad thing is that trying to give away the land of Israel is actually stupid. It doesn't work, and nobody respects you when you give away your land. And giving away your tiny land is also dangerous for your security, and it's against the promises
But in
of
the book,
Bible.
I use quotes of others, of Bill Clinton, Condoleezza Rice, people that were actually in the rooms, in the offices, and say, the Palestinians, they deceive us. They lied about us. They lied to us. So it's not, it's very important.
Okay, so the first point is the root of Palestinianism. It's basically an amalgam of various Arabs coming from different places, mostly to find work, because there's now a strong economic matrix created by the Jews in the land of Israel. The second point is that two-state solutionism has always been rejected by the Arabs themselves, not to mention that it's a bad idea in the first place.
The Palestinian ideology, the Palestinian mechanism,
Right.
is a Nazi ideology in its roots, okay, DNA, because it was founded by Nazis, Arab Nazis. But later on, this whole mechanism had one goal, that that Israel will not exist.
To erase Israel, to erase the Jewish state.
Exactly.
Point number 3.
The point number 3 is that there is a source of the conflict, and it's Arab. Okay? And here, in this third chapter, I give, again, all the details about the history, all the compromises that were supposed to happen, like, the creation of this compromise, that compromise, Ehud Olmert that wanted even to split the Western Wall. Unbelievable. But then I also speak about also the idea of a Palestinian state, because I'm trying to explain to people the most simple stuff, that a Palestinian state, pure of Jews, this is what they want. They want the Palestinian state on the range of Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, as they say, that will dominate the coastal plain, you say?
So a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, what they call the West Bank, would dominate the coastal plain and would be a machine to try to destroy the rest of Israel, just like Gaza was, right? You gave away Gaza,
Yes.
and it became a forward base for the jihad. So too here, if God forbid there was a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, it would swoop down and rain down rockets and attack the rest of Israel and be as a forward base for jihadism.
Because a Palestinian state, again, it's not a solution for anything. It's just a tool to destroy Israel, because the Judean-Samaria range is in the middle of Israel. It's not even in the side, okay? It's between the Jordan Valley, which is ours, and the rest of Israel that is ours, so it's in the middle. So it's not even a Trojan horse. It's an explosion, a Trojan horse. And think about it. People say, and I show it in the book, or give a quote. Some people say, well, the Nazi regime was so radical because for 12 years, the educational Nazi system brainwashed the German kids. Well, the Palestinian education system for 30 years brainwashing the kids that the Jewish people are the most evil people in the world and they must be erased. And I give quotes also about for Europeans that criticize the Palestinian education system but don't do anything with it. So it is a very close, it's the most closest thing to the Nazi educational system, and I'm really show it very strongly in this short book because it's so important that people will understand it. Again, I will say it because it's simple as hell, but people don't get it. To have a pure, radical Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria that will dominate the Jews, okay, will control this area. But they also said, the Arabs, why this solution never happened, by the way, because they said, we want a pure 100% Palestinian state on Judea and Samaria, but the rest will not be a Jewish state. It will be a mixed state with Arabs.
Yeah. So basically, as Caroline Glick said many years ago, she said in the landmass that was supposed to be the land of Israel, you have Jordan, which is a Palestinian state. Gaza became a Palestinian terrorist state. Judea and Samaria, they wanted as a Judenrein Palestinian state. And little Israel, they wanted to be a democratic state where the majority will become Arab and take it over democratically. So on the landmass, the small landmass that is supposed to be the Jewish state, the land of Israel, you would have 4 Palestinian states. And that's the plan to divide and conquer. Matan Peleg, people can really use this book to get smarter, to know the facts, to understand things much better. How do they find the Pro-Israel Handbook? I found it at Truman, TRUEMAN.co.il, and you can order it there. Is there any other way to get the book?
Yeah, this is the easiest thing. You can write on Google the Pro-Israel Handbook or Truman. Truman actually is a project because later on it's a true man. In God's will, I will continue to write more handbooks like this because I believe, again, that people don't have patience to read so much.
That's
right.
I'm
trying to squeeze facts in one short book that people can, but also can use it later for their own movies, viral things.
Matan Peleg, you used to be the CEO of Im Tirtzu, which is Israel's largest student movement. You are constantly on Israeli media. Now you're an author. You're also a soldier, and you're fighting not only the physical battle, but also the narrative warfare. Your new book is called The Pro-Israel Handbook. Thank you so much for being with us. Kol hakavod.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, folks, you are watching Yishai TV, Yishai Fleischer TV on YouTube. God bless you, folks, wherever you are. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like the broadcast that we do from the land of Israel, giving you truth and strength and light from Jerusalem and from the heartland of the land of Israel. Then please support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/Yishai, buymeacoffee.com/Yishai, and also help build Israel, right? Our projects to restore, rebuild, strengthen, beautify the land of Israel, help the Israeli farmers, help rebuild the biblical holy sites, help the biblical highway. Do that at buildisrael.com, buildisrael.com. God bless you folks wherever you are. Stay tuned, stay strong, stay blessed from wherever you are, from the land of Israel, and shalom.